So guys, this is going to be the story of why I quit playing soccer. So the first topic I wanted to cover is just a little bit on why I started playing soccer at the age of 14. So up until the point that I was 14, all the physical activity through my life came through either elementary and middle school and the physical education class or just messing around with my cousins every now and then. But if I was to do it by myself, I would never really want to do it. So I'll actually be doing another video on my general health journey throughout my entire life in another video, so I don't want to go into full detail here. But for starters, I actually didn't eat that well up until I was like about the age of 10, 8 or 10, and started eating much better after that. So all in all, to sum it up, I had not the best nutrition as a kid because all I grew up eating was, a lot of sweet stuff, very salty things, and just a lot of processed junk. But also, it was just me not wanting to take that initiative to ask for better food because, that's all I knew. As well as the physical activity side, my parents never really pushed me towards like strenuous activities or activities that could become very strenuous because they didn't want me to get injured and they didn't want me to, pursue something that, might not really be for me in the first place. Because to be actually honest, I was very skinny and very weak as a kid. So because I was on the computer all the time and just playing games. So basically, all I knew was playing games or reading books, and that was pretty much the things that I was actually good at. So my second topic will be about when I started playing soccer, which was in the summer of 2016 as I was 13, just about to turn 14. So I can still recall the first day that I went to the training as it was the second week in the summer as I just got done with 8th grade and I was about to be a freshman in high school. It was a cloudy Tuesday morning, I think, and I can even still remember my dream I had, but it was about 2-3 hours long and the training was with a lot of kids. I think almost 100 kids showed up that day and we just did all the basics, juggling and passing and even the small scrimmage at the end. So throughout this summer, I would be playing my first game 3 months down the road. I think in the middle of August, and it would be nerve wracking for me. And I was very anxious at the time. I remember because I would be playing against and with some kids that played recreational or competitive their entire lives, and just going against that with just only 3 months of twice a week training is very scary. Or at least it was for me, and it wasn't my best month of progression at all. I would say I think about a year and a half down the road that I would actually progress much better than I did this summer. So I can still remember my first game, and we lost very badly that day. I think it was like 16 or 14-0. But yeah, I remember my first pass that I received, and it was like a 10-yard pass, and I touched it, and then two guys that were like I think about 6 foot came and grabbed that pass already, but I was only like 5'2" at the time, so it was very scary for that at that moment. And then throughout the rest of the game, I had maybe a few 5 or 10 yard passes, and that was pretty much it. So it was like a very bad experience. So this made me actually push me to train a lot more even after games and after trainings most days. So the rest of the season wasn't nothing really special, and the only thing notable that happened was me rolling my ankle a few times, I think, and being out for 1 or 2 weeks. But other than that, we lost most of the games and maybe won 1 or 2, and I scored no goals. But my injuries would actually be a repetitive cycle going into my next 3 years of playing. So after the season, I took about a month off, and then I got back to my training, which was I would come back from school and just train in my basement 2 to 3 hours every night, and instead of playing games or doing my homework, which I could finish at school pretty easily. Yeah, I would be passing against the wall or just juggling and just really trying to nail like 100 juggles a day or 100 touches, just doing like random things. My next topic I wanted to cover was when I started fasting, which was the beginning of 2017, and that would go on for the next 5 or 5.5 years, and it was one of the biggest milestones that I would face, and one of the best milestones as well, as my health just skyrocketed after that. Basically, all I did was just not eat the school food and just skip breakfast entirely. And when I got home, I would just eat a little bit and then eat dinner, and that was pretty much it. I would do this throughout the entire high school, and I would never look back. So during this winter and spring of 2017, I'd be playing a lot of indoor soccer with just some friends, some relatives, and even some random people trying out pickup soccer here and there. So during this time, I learned a lot of lessons about team sports in general and just the harsh realities of it. A lot of people would take you the wrong way, and even if you're trying to output your best ability, the things that you're trying to do, people will still, claim that you're not trying the best, and then, they fail and they turn around at you and then they just laugh in your face like it's just a small mistake. This is one of my biggest pet peeves during this time because, I didn't speak up even if I failed, and I would just try harder and try harder. And this would end up a lot exhausting me like mentally, and it would be kind of draining, but not really, as it would push me towards being better and actually training a lot more than I actually did during the past few months. So I learned a lot about self-defense during this period, as a lot of the situations that happened for me was that, a lot of people were verbally abusive towards me or physically aggressive, and I was that type of guy that if you came and grabbed the ball and just pushed me a little, I might let you take it because I don't want any aggressive problems with you during the game or after the game. And that was just a way for me to look out for myself. But then also, people would talk some smack towards me and be like, you can't do this or you can't do that. And then, it made me internally angry. So what I forgot to mention here is that anger is actually a very good motivator for self-transformation, but you have to be able to control it. Otherwise, it will overconsume you and you will just end up becoming the emotion and you won't be able to rise above it. And I was able to transmute that. I think I did a decent job of transmuting that because I showed that, I can do that and I can also do more. So moving on to the summer of 2017, I played recreational soccer before my season started for high school, and we actually ended up winning first place out of the 5 teams. And I ended up scoring my first goal ever in my soccer career during this tournament at the end of the season. We were playing in the semifinals, and I shot the ball, but I didn't intend to shoot it, and I meant to just clear it or pass it to another person, but it ended up landing in the back of the net. And a lot of my team came to celebrate because it was like, I think 30 yards out. But then I just looked at them in kind of all shock and awe because it didn't feel like I shot it, and I felt like something else did it for me. So that was one of the most surreal moments for me. So during my sophomore year of high school, the most memorable thing playing soccer was probably getting injured a lot during that time and rolling my ankle a few times, but also scoring my second goal. And that was pretty much it. Just the usual, training after trainings, and then also training after games a few times. Just trying to push myself to the max, and really just pursue the thing that I really wanted to, which was to get very, very physically healthy, because I actually wanted to become a pro soccer player, or at least pursue that path, but then it ended up not working out. So the main reason for not pursuing that path was that I just didn't really want to. Like playing soccer throughout all those years, it was fun, but it wasn't really emotionally or spiritually fulfilling. It was very good to help me break out of old habits and break out the characteristic that I never thought I had, that I never knew I had. But then it's also something that I didn't really like to do because I don't really like to jog all game. I'd rather walk. And then I like to sprint, but I don't like to sprint the entire game as well. So also a big reason was that I didn't want to pay $50,000 a year to go play at some college out of state, and also waste my time and waste the rest of my life paying for that when I didn't really want to play soccer in the first place. I just wanted to get healthier. Guys, during the summer of 2018, I tried out and went to go play for a team called MTA, or Minnesota Thunder Academy, and I ended up making one of their I think their second squads, and for my age group, and I think I was like 16 at the time. And it was one of the worst experiences that I've ever had playing soccer, and if I could take it back, I totally would, and not play soccer at all during that last year. I also played high school soccer during junior year, and I played for junior varsity, and it was much better than playing for this club, which was absolute garbage. So for high school soccer, a lot of my friends quit during sophomore year, so I only had like a few left on the team, and it was pretty good. I scored like 2 or 3 goals, and still rolled my ankle a few times. Got sat out like maybe like 1 or 2 weeks again, and it was pretty good overall. But yeah, I think my absolute favorite year of playing soccer was 2017, when almost all my friends played, and it was just super fun. Even though we lost a lot of games, it was just super fun to just laugh and chill with them after and before the games. I also forgot to mention that at the end of my high school season for 2018, I got into one of the worst injuries of my entire life, basically. I overextended my ankle, and I'll try and find a picture of it, but if I do, it'll be on the screen. Yeah, but I can still feel the effects of it to this day. It's like a low cramping in the foot all the way to the thighs and the calves. If I overstrain the foot, or my mobility is not the best that day, then I would still feel the effects of it. So guys, I found it really strange that that was only one on the team that had a double digit number that was one digit repeated twice. And also I knew that in Chinese culture that 4 means death, and it's also considered unlucky. Probably in other Asian cultures as well. I didn't know, I knew it at the time already, but I knew that it was probably my last year of playing soccer because I would be going to college next year. So YMTA was the worst club for me to play for. Was that the coach was very unintegral and also very disrespectful to the team. So the drive was terrible, the training was awful, and the teammates were pretty decent. There's some guys that were really good actually, and they probably went on to go play college soccer, but the rest of the team were just average or below average. The trainings were a lot of just mundane passing and stupid little like dribbling drills, which he never wanted us to dribble in a real game, which was absolutely terrible because most of the guys couldn't even pass the ball, and they didn't even know what to do with the ball, and it was very confusing because his tactics always changed, and the way his mindset worked and everything, it was horrible. Energy was pretty bad because it was a lot of discrimination during the club because there was a lot of white guys. I think two Hispanic guys that were playing, and then and I think that was pretty much it. But yeah, I was the only Asian that played for them, and then it was just not the best experience overall. Here's a little story of one of the worst times during playing for the club. So we were playing one of the weekends in February of 2019, and I think it was one of the first games of the season, but it wasn't an official game because it was kind of like a scrimmage against another local club, and I think a few of my friends were on that team actually, and then it was about to be halftime, and then I got past the ball, and then I have a video of it, but I'll have to find that, and if I can't find it, then I will post it in another video in the future. But yeah, basically my teammate passed me the ball, and I was trying to receive it because it was a long ball, and then it bounced once, and it was about 3 feet in front of me, and then some white kid from another team comes and kicks me in my ribs, my right rib cage, and I was on the ground for about 5 to 10 minutes just trying to grasp for breath as the coach blew his whistle, and I was laying on my back for 5 minutes, I think, and then basically that kid didn't get no penalty, nothing. He got nothing, no, not even a yellow card. It was crazy. And I went to go sit out for about 10 minutes because I couldn't even breathe, and it was super hard to walk even because it was a pretty hard kick. And then after that, the coach told me to get in, and I was about to tell him to fuck off, and I was about to quit at that moment, but I ended up playing the rest of the game. I don't know why. Basically, after this incident, I gave it a few more months, like 2 or 3, and then I quit at the end of May. And a few guys already quit beforehand, and our team was losing every single game. We barely had any subs, and it was just a horrible experience, and nobody really wanted to speak up that it was bad, but they just kept playing because their parents already paid for it and everything. But yeah, this is basically the experience that made me quit soccer because of how bad I saw the competitive stage. And so after this little short spell of 3 years of playing soccer, I decided to go to college for my senior year because I had good grades and I had a lot of my classes done for high school. So I decided to just go to college and get some classes done for free. That was what I decided to do. And for physical activity, I decided to just pursue working out full time and pursuing calisthenics, or at least try to get better at it, as well as flipping. So I did want to touch a little bit upon my spiritual views of the journey, my destiny, and just the cycles that I've encountered along the way. There's a lot of karmic things that go into cycles like this. Whether it's just a day, or whether it's a couple years, or whether it's a lifetime. A lot of work, a lot of spiritual work that you can't see goes into orchestrating what experiences come out and what experiences don't come out. That you whether you really want it and try to make it happen, it doesn't happen. There's a lot of unconditional and unorthodox things that happen that you just can't explain, and that will happen to kind of shift your destiny because it's not really what's meant for you, or it's not really, that thing also isn't what you're meant for as well. It kind of goes both ways. So a lot of my background, which is in meditation, energy work, and energy healing, as well as shamanistic or monk shamanistic traditions, helped me with all the implications that went on in this journey, because that was kind of my roots and the thing that I would go back to when I had nothing else. Um, when I was really sad, or I was really mad, or even when I was really happy. That was the thing that really helped pull me back to my center and help balance a lot of the things that I went through. Uh, the meditation was very important because every day, at night and even in the morning, some days before school, I would meditate, and even if it's 5 minutes a day, a couple minutes here and there, just try to get my mind off of things that went on during the day, as well as the energy work and energy healing, helping a lot to heal the unbalanced energies that would occur and help transmute the energies into my workouts, into my diet, and to help me better myself internally as well as externally. Guys, that was basically my journey of soccer, and it summed up into a short little video, and just my spiritual viewpoints on life in general. I learned a lot of lessons that were physical, that transmuted into my spiritual, emotional, and mental side, as well as helping me get back up physically. You can choose to work on just the physical aspect of this life, and you can completely ignore everything else. But then, what I believe is that you're in another incarnation, whether you're a human or not, you're gonna have to work through those emotions, through those impulses, to get better at them, and to really fix yourself up from the bottom up if you didn't choose to do it in this life. Yeah, so that's just a little bit about my views on the spirituality part of it.